If you've already finished Beef Season 2 and you're sitting there wondering, okay, where does this show go next? You're not alone. Season 2 just completely flipped the script, and now everyone wants to know, is Season 3 actually happening, and what could it even look like? Let's break it all down. Season 2 recap, what happened? So, Season 2 centers on two couples from completely different generations and backgrounds who get pulled into a nasty conflict with each other. On one side, you've got Josh and Lindsay Martin, a couple who have literally poured years of their lives into the Monte Vista Point Country Club. When news breaks that the club's ownership is about to change, they're terrified of losing everything they've built. That fear nearly becomes reality when Ashley and her fiancé Austin, who both work at the club, end up recording a fight between Josh and Lindsay. What starts as a simple negotiation between the two sides completely spirals out of control. By the end of it, Josh ends up in prison, and Ashley and Austin, they stay together, unhappily, and take over the club. It's messy, it's dark, and it's exactly the kind of chaos this show does best. Release date, when could Season 3 drop? Now, here's the thing. As of right now, Netflix has not officially renewed Beef for a third season. But if it does get the green light, the best case scenario puts a Season 3 release somewhere between 2028 and 2029. So we're potentially in for a bit of a wait on this one. Plot theories, families versus families. Alright, so what could Season 3 actually be about? Here's where it gets really interesting. Beef is an anthology series, meaning every season brings a brand new premise. But there's always a clear thematic thread running through it all. And that thread is revenge. Creator Lee Sung-jin has talked about how the show comes from real personal experiences. Beef itself was inspired by his own road rage incident. Season 2's idea came to him after he overheard a couple arguing in his neighborhood. So the theory goes, whatever Season 3 is, it'll probably be sparked by another real-life encounter from Sung-jin's own life. And if you look at the pattern, there's a clear escalation happening. Season 1 was about two individuals, Danny and Amy, locked in a never-ending clash. Season 2 upped that to two couples. So Season 3, it could very naturally escalate to two families going to war with each other. A bigger scope like that would let the writers build out this whole web of interconnected conflicts while still keeping that personal, emotional core the show is known for. The mandala, a bigger connected universe. There's also this really cool element introduced in Season 2, the mandala motif, which essentially frames all the hostile dynamics we've seen so far as part of the same social reality. What that opens the door to is the possibility of characters from Seasons 1 and 2 popping back up as background characters in Season 3. Think of how American Horror Story or Castle Rock bring back familiar faces across anthology seasons. Beef could absolutely do something similar. And of course, you can probably expect some kind of powerful company or outside force to show up as a villainous presence. But the beating heart of the show will likely stay in that central rivalry between two sides. Cast, who's in, who's out? Now let's talk cast, because this is where the anthology format makes things tricky. Since every season is fresh, that means we're almost certainly saying goodbye to the Season 2 leads. So yes, Oscar Isaac, Carey Mulligan, Kaylee Spaney, and Charles Melton, who play Josh, Lindsay, Ashley, and Austin respectively, they'll most likely not be returning as main characters. Season 2 was framed as a generational conflict between millennials and Gen Z, and that's exactly how Sung-jin approached the casting. So whatever conflict Season 3 is built around, you can expect the casting to reflect that theme just as intentionally. One thing worth noting, Lee Sung-jin is also involved with the X-Men reboot, which could affect his availability. He's even mentioned how tough it is to juggle a large cast within a tight production schedule. So there's actually a chance Season 3 could go smaller, a more intimate story with fewer characters, rather than going bigger. Korean talent, more legends on the way. One of the most exciting things about Beef is its deep connection to Korean heritage and talent. Season 2 alone brought in Yoon Yoo-jung and Song Kang-ho, two absolute legends of Korean cinema in key roles. If Season 3 happens, there's every reason to expect even more heavyweight Korean actors joining the show. That's honestly one of the most exciting things to look forward to. So to sum it all up, Season 3 isn't confirmed yet, but the blueprint is there. Bigger rivalries, more complex webs of conflict, possibly families going head-to-head, and more incredible acting talent on the way. This show has built something really special, and wherever it goes next, it's going to be worth the wait. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more.